Well, thanks, Anya, again for being here for another week. It's 5 shows down, and I have to say we're really starting to see some serious stress from you ladies. And it was almost like a tipping point. You could just see everybody, even the ones who were doing pretty well, are all starting to really feel the stress. What was the tension like that day for you?
I remember I was just really tired and frustrated because I was putting so much pressure on myself to win immunity in the first challenge
Mm-hmm.
that when I didn't, I got even more annoyed.
Yeah. Well, there was a bit of a reprieve, though, because Jarena was there, and she's got this
Mm-hmm.
magic smile and personality. And I'm curious, what it was like having her there. Had you met her before? What did you think of her?
I had never met her before. She was definitely very gracious. It was really cool to see a Big Break alum doing really well on the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And also, especially after the tic-tac-toe game, it was awesome seeing her short game in that area because it's something that I know I need to work on, and I really enjoyed watching her hit those shots.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and Jarena didn't win the big break, right? She got
I
eliminated,
think
and
she placed
so
like fifth or something like that.
yeah, I interviewed her during Big Break PEI every week, and she was a joy to talk to, just like you. And she didn't make it to the end, but you know, she made it to the LPGA, and so it doesn't matter. I mean, just being on the Big Break in some ways can be a big break for all of you because you can
Oh,
do
for
it.
sure, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
It definitely prepares you, I think, for pressure that you wouldn't have experienced before.
Mm-hmm. And here's somebody talking who has been right through the U.S. Open and qualified for this year. So, you've already been through a lot of stress. But anyway,
Yes, I have.
this is way different, no question. Okay, let's talk about the tic-tac-toe challenge. I loved it. I love that kind of thing. But it seemed to go way too fast. Did they edit out a lot of stuff there, a lot of missed shots?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff edited out. A
Yeah,
lot.
that's too bad. Yeah.
A
Darned. Is
lot.
there anything edited out that you thought, oh, that would have been good to show that, or?
I can't remember, to be honest with you. All I know is that I did terrible in that challenge, and that I was frustrated that I didn't do better.
Well, there are a lot of people who were hitting, on the bars and stuff and near misses, but I wish they had shown a little bit more of, the drama of that because it just looked like you guys were all fabulous wedge players who could hit any spot or any target, and I know golf isn't like that, so it was a little bit disappointing that we didn't see more of that challenge. But.
Yeah, I think it's hard to just fit everything in, though, because we film so many hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things where there's just no way that they can get everything in because I think we had about 19 hours worth of filming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not 19 hours. We had about 10 hours worth of filming a day on Sundays. So to condense it to the 45 minutes that they need to,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have to leave out a lot of different things.
Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah, and one of the things they didn't leave out though is lots of shots of Kelly sitting on the bench looking like she was going to be sick. She,
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I would be
torture.
nervous if I were her, too. I mean, it's hard when you are sitting at 0 point and you're not able to hit any shots, and you're just watching everyone else accumulating points, and you know that you're going into elimination.
Yeah.
I mean, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But she came out on top, One bad
Yes,
shot
she
into
did.
the water, helped her a lot.
Yes.
Let's talk about the that bunker shot and your wounded wedge. It looked
Yes.
like you whacked it on your shoe. Is that how it bent?
Yeah. And
Your shoe.
I didn't even hit it that hard, it felt like. And I was really surprised when I looked down at my wedge, and I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Because I literally put it on the bottom of my shoe to get the sand off my shoe,
Mm.
and I hit it just hard enough and in the right spot for it to break. And that was
Wow.
really embarrassing because I wasn't angry to the point where I was like, oh, it's the wedge's fault and I'm going to break it. It was just like, oh, okay, I'm going to whack my shoe. get the sand
Yeah.
off, move on. And then I walked over to the bench, and all the girls were like, did your club just break? Because they didn't seem to think that I was angry either, because I really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it just happened out that way,
Oh, wow. 'Cause
unfortunately.
it looked like when you saw the club, I thought you did that on your foot. You must be in agony, but it must have just hit that right part, and there you go. Well, was it repairable, or did you get to replace it for your
I
episode?
did not replace it, and it was not repairable at that
Mm.
point. So I just went with it.
Oh, well.
The rest of the way, I went with it.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll have to see future shows and if that had any impact. I know you can't tell me, so. Yeah, you didn't look like a club breaker to me when I watched you. You seemed quite calm out there, so it was a bit of a shocker. But glad you have clarified that for us.
Yes, thank you for letting me.
Yeah, and the other thing, though, what really was also impressive is the next shot that you actually hit was that location by the tree, and you got full points for that. So you had put whatever frustration you had behind you, and you carried forward. So are you good at that? Are you good at, putting bad news behind you and looking forward to one shot at a time and all those cliches?
I'm getting a lot better at it. I wouldn't say that I'm great, but I'm a lot better. Definitely this year at my U.S. Open qualifier, I had to do that because I shot 80 in the first round, and I had to go play another 18 holes.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to put that 80 behind me and just move on. So it's definitely something that I'm learning with time. That's going to take me more practice because I have a tendency to play with the goal of hitting perfect shots.
Mm.
And I have to let that go because not every shot is going to be perfect. And some bad shots are going to get really good breaks, and some good shots are going to get bad breaks. And that's just how golf is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great book out there, Golf is Not a Game of Perfect, by Ken Nielsen and Lynn Marriott. That's really worth reading. It's so true. So true. Well, you said when you were going into elimination, you felt like you were in La La Land, and I'm kind of curious what you mean. Is it like it was surreal, or what feelings were you feeling that you would say that?
It was one of those things where I didn't feel completely there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just was never in my groove. And so that was hard
mm-hmm.
because I never really felt like I hit a stride. And so when you feel like you have to be on point, it's really hard because if you can't hit some type of stride, then where are you going, especially because the day is so broken up.
Mm.
So you have to get in some sort of mindset to be able to play well in those challenges.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting because when you said, you were going to, buy yourself out of elimination and give up your points, after seeing what happened to Kelly and Natalia, that made that decision even more difficult because you know now how much the points mean just going into future challenges. So it must have been very difficult sitting on the bench, watching them play not their best, knowing you could have won on your own. Yeah, I saw you. You looked devastated that you weren't out there.
I was not happy. Seeing an 8 and a bogey on a par 5 that really wasn't that long, and then them making a 5 from 125 yards and in, and it was really hard to watch. I'll just say that. And I'm not trying to knock anybody's game, but that I know that I could have beat that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you've got more shows where you can prove that, and I'm really looking forward to talking with you again next week. So anything you want to close with today about the show or future?
Don't hit your wedge on the bottom of your shoe.
I won't.
Okay.
Okay, well, you take care, Anya, and you have a great week, and we'll chat next week.
All right, thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.